Hello, Rupa here from Crafters Corner. I'm back with another video tutorial today. As always, we're going to try a new technique with a little twist. I've got a lot of queries about wanting to do reverse glass decoupage and also with a crackle effect. So I'm going to combine the two and then show you a tutorial today. But then what's the point in doing something straightforward? I always like to twist it a bit to my needs and then of course use a recycled item. So what are we going to recycle today? Of course that item will come in the end, but to start with I'm going to recycle this plastic sheet which came with a sweet box. Yes, it's Diwali time. I'm sure all of you would be getting a lot of sweet boxes, so you would end up getting a lot of plastic sheets like this. Let's upcycle one today. I'm going to use this as my faux glass today. A few weeks back I also showed you a faux mosaic tile technique also using the OHP sheet. This is similar to that in terms of the faux glass technique that we're going to do. But then we're going to use this as a glass piece today and going to do the reverse decoupage with Crackle. So let's get started. Are you ready? So what we would require obviously is the Faux Art Crackle medium and my jar of Mod Podge, my buddy for all decoupage projects. Here's the Mod Podge gloss that I'm going to be using. That's there, and then some brushes, and then paints of your choice, and printed tissue. So for today's project, this is going to be my glass piece, and then I have this tissue which I have cut out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to decoupage this face down. That is how it is going to come. You need to understand that all your work is going to be on the reverse and this is going to be your front side. And what this faux glass becomes in the end, we will see. Okay, so this is my experiment in front of the camera. I have not done one on a plastic sheet, but then there's always a joy of recycling plastic. I've always told you that. So with that in mind, I'm going to start. This needs to be decoupaged now. So what we'll do, I need to carefully adhere this tissue to the sheet. So you need a dry brush and your pot of Mod Podge, and then slowly work your way. I'm positioning this tissue in such a way that I get the maximum of the design there, and I'm leaving a little bit on the bottom. I have my PLAID mat down, and yes, I'm going to start from the center and then adhere this tissue. Gentle strokes. It might appear that wrinkles are formed, but that's okay, because the moment the Mod Podge comes in contact with the tissue, it does wrinkle a bit. Anyways, we're going to end up doing a crackle effect on this. Please note that I am extending the Mod Podge on the entire plastic sheet, so this becomes a kind of grip for the crackle medium for the next step. And Mod Podge dries clear, so there is absolutely no worries about tile. Okay, so I'm going to dry this and come back. Yes, I'm back after decoupaging the tissue to the plastic sheet, and this is how it looks after drying. There's a lot bit of more work to be done on the behind. As you know that we are doing the reverse glass, faux glass decoupage. So all these overhangs, I'm just going to take it off using the sanding block from PLAID. Excuse me for that sound, but I just wanted you to show the technique of sanding the tissue off the overhangs rather than cutting them using the scissors. When you use a sanding block, it's a very crisp cut when you pull it downwards like that from the surface, so you will not go wrong there. So it will be a clean cut. Right, sorry. So first what we did was decoupaging the tissue face down onto the plastic sheet. Now I'm going to start with the crackle medium. I'm using the Home Decor, the Faux Art Crackle medium, and then we just go about giving a nice coat of the crackle medium. Again, there is absolutely no set rule as to which direction you need to use. I'm going to give horizontal strokes. You can apply a nice thick coat. The thicker the coat, the thicker the cracks. You can apply nice thick coat. Like I said, the thicker the coat, bigger the cracks. And yes, it's going to take that little time to dry. So we have the Crackle medium here on top of the tissue. I'm going to let that take its time. Once the first crack appears, then I will speed it up. Okay, let that dry and then I'll come back and see you. So I'm back after drying the Crackle medium. This is how it's looking from the front. Yes, you can't make out much, we still have a long way to go. Now what we need to do is the blending of the color. So a bit of Crackle and home decor paint, chalk paint, sheepskin and Crackle to get this bit of gray here. So what I'm going to do is the tissue portion, you can use a sponge and then go about dabbing. I'm doing this only in the tissue area and you will notice that cracks will start to appear. So don't go about pouncing in the area again and again. One dab and then leave it, and then the cracks will appear. So this is a very thin coat, as you know when you start dabbing with the sponge. You can see that the cracks are appearing. I'll bring it closer to show you. Yes, it's a little difficult because you have to imagine things and start blending from the reverse. Alright, so I have covered the tissue portion. You can see the cracks. Can you see it? Yeah, can you see the cracks appearing? Yes, so we leave that to happen in its natural course. Okay, so there was a bit of a problem with the video. I'm so sorry. What I've done now is given a full coat of the sheepskin mixed with Crackle, the chalk paint, the light grey coat of overall. I have covered it and the cracks have begun to appear, and for the base I've just used a bit of the River Walk, which is a sandy brown color. So the cracks have appeared, it's absolutely dry. Now what I'm going to do is give the last coat, which is, you could blend in here to show different colored cracks, or you could do your blending as the first layer, which is like I have just done gray. You could go about doing your blending of multicolored there, but then you need to be really careful as to what color would come where. So the easiest way would be to give a nice coat of the same color throughout and then work on different colored crackles. So in this case I'm going to keep the top with a little multicolored of yellow and green. If you can see the cracks there, yeah, you can see some cracks appearing. So I'm going to blend in yellow and green here. You can use a brush or a sponge for this because it doesn't matter. It's basically you're highlighting the cracks. And as I go down, maybe I would proceed to black for the central area, and then again come back to these yellow and greens at the base. So let me see how this is looking. As of now, this is how it looks. You could see the cracks here, very fine. Okay, now what I'm going to do is wait for this to dry and give the whole thing a coat of black. So that kind of makes this sheet opaque. So there's nothing that can be seen through it, whether it is glass or the plastic sheet. The procedure is the same. Now we're going to seal the back with a nice opaque color. This is the pure black. Okay, so a nice quart of the black, and then seal the back. Mind you, the layers that you've done before should be dry. That's very important. You don't want this black to merge with the other colors that you've blended. So now this is the final coat, and then of course we will seal it with varnish. Is done. Let me dry this and then we will flip it over. Okay, so I'm back. I gave 2 coats of black at the back. I realized that with one coat, when I still saw it through light, it was a little transparent. So I gave another coat of black to totally seal, and this is how it looks. And I do like the accidental rubbing of the crackle and the black again showing here and there, giving it a totally distressed look. Like I said, you just need to go with your style and embrace whatever imperfections come along with your experiments, and then make it look presentable. That's finally what it is. You need to be satisfied with what you've done. At least to me, this looks nice to the eye. Yeah, it's a little glaring in the camera. You will see the final project after some time. So as you can see, the crackles have appeared on this side. The major of the black crackles is around the center, and then you can pick up a little bit of the multicolored, the yellow and green crackles, the finer ones, and then the lovely distressing of the black around the edges. Yes, it's another way. What you could do to give it a distressed finish is rub off a bit of the crackle and then before you give the black, so that the edges have a bit of a black. In my case, it was accidental and I seem to like it somehow, the entire distressed look that's come around the edges. So this is completely dry now. I'm going to seal it with 1 coat of varnish. You could use the satin finish varnish from Home Decor. So that's 1 coat I'm going to give of the varnish, and then of course you can wait for this to dry. This is basically to seal all the paints at the back. So we've done the reverse faux glass decoupage with crackle effect. Same thing is what you need to do on glass, which can be on a glass plate, or you could do it as a glass wall hanging. Well, what am I going to do with this? You need to wait and watch. I just can't wait to have this on my final project. So let me dry this and I'll come back and see you with the final project. I'm back after drying. So the coat of varnish has dried, and I have with me a very old tray. You won't believe this is easily about 15 years old. I had done some texture work and it was in full black, and yeah, it's been sitting in my junk room waiting to be transformed. So what I've done is I retained the black color which was all around. I gave the wax on areas I wanted distressed, and then I gave a coat of this chalk paint patina, and then I have used the scraping tool. I have done videos on how to use the scraping tool to distress the edges and around. So this has a kind of teal and black distressing done, and this, my faux glass, crackled glass, is going to go and sit here. Okay, this is not going to be used as a tray, mind you, because we have the plastic sheet here. I don't know how much of a heat this one is going to withstand. So this is going to be definitely a home decor and utility, not a tray. You will see what it is at the end. Now, how am I going to adhere this to this is I'm going to give a nice liberal coat of Mod Podge here on the base. So there's Mod Podge here, nice coat, so that the faux glass or the plastic sheet sits nicely. As you can see, a lot of texture work which was done. I have sanded and then leveled it. It needs to be smooth. Okay, so that's nice coat of Mod Podge here. Now I'm going to have the sheet sit in and then wait for it to dry. So yes, there it goes. Sits in plush. Now don't even try to peel it or move it. You could place some weight on top of it and wait for it to dry. So I'll see you on the other side. Okay, so I have allowed this to dry. So this is how the tray looks as of now. I will have some pictures at the end. I'm still thinking on what more needs to be done to this, because this is still not fully dry and I don't want to disturb the tray when this is setting. So once that is fully dry, I am thinking of doing something else to this tray so that it doesn't remain just a tray. Anyways, like I told you, it's not going to be used as a serving tray. It will definitely be used as a utility item. I want to hang this up on the wall and probably use this as a key hanger. That's what is running in my mind right now. So I'll have some pictures at the end of the video. Thank you for watching this tutorial. Keep liking and subscribe if you haven't done so. I will see you soon with another tutorial. Bye bye.